In this video, we're going to examine a method that returns an array. So just like we can pass an array to a method, we can also return an array from a method. So let's take a look at this. In this example, I'm creating a small array of integers numbered 1 through 6. I'm also declaring a variable called reversed array that's going to hold the results of int array after it gets passed to this method called reverse. Okay, so the reverse method is going to reverse the order of the elements in the original array. Okay, and once it comes back, we're going to print out the original array, and then we're going to print out the reversed array. So I'll go ahead and run it so you can see it. It prints out the original array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it prints out the reversed array 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let's take a look at how it works, and we'll trace through what happens. First, we declare this array. It's a length 6. It's called int array. We have this variable declared to hold the results, and we call this reverse method, and we pass it a reference to int array. So int array comes down here and gets passed in to the parameter array to reverse. Okay, so this array to reverse holds a reference back to our original array. We discussed that in the last video. So we have the array that we need to reverse. We're declaring an array to hold the result. Okay, so it's going to be an array of ints as well. So we have to create the new array here in our method. So its scope is only going to be while this method runs. Okay, it's going to be an array of ints, and how many ints will it hold? It will take the array to reverse that we passed in and look at its length to determine that. So if I pass in 6, this will be a 6, and it'll create an array of length 6. All right, now here's the interesting part, because we're going to use a for loop, and we're going to look at some techniques that you have not seen in a for loop before. There are other ways to do this problem. This is kind of an innovative way, so I thought I would share it with you. So we have a for loop, and we've seen for loops before that use one variable. This for loop is going to use 2 variables. Okay, so we're setting up an integer called I that starts at 0. That's very similar to what we've done in the past, but we're also setting up another. Notice they're separated by commas. We're setting up another variable called j that's going to be initialized to be the length of the result, which we already know in our example is going to be 6. So it's going to start at the number 5, the length minus 1, 5. Because remember, our indexes go from 0 to 5. So I is going to start at 0, and j is going to start at 5. Okay, then here's the semicolon. Here's our condition. We're going to count up as long as I is less than the length of the array we're trying to reverse, as long as it's less than its length. But then here, to update our variables, we're going to make I increase by 1. So I is going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, separated by comma. We're also going to make j count down, is starting at 5, counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So that's pretty interesting. A for loop that uses 2 counter variables and updates 2 counter variables as it goes. And all it's going to do, it's going to start, j is 5, I is 0. So item 0 to item 5, it's going to take the 6 and put it at item 0. Then it's going to take the 5 and put it here, and the 4 and put it here, and the 3 and then put it here. And it's going to reverse the array. It's going to swap because those 2 variables are counting down opposite directions, and it's going to take from the array to reverse with I and update the result in j counting down, which effectively reverses all the numbers in the 2 arrays. And then it's going to return result. Okay, so it's going to turn this reference to the result array back to reversed array. Okay, so we passed it in we passed int array, a reference into that, to the method. The method took the two arrays, the one that was passed in, it created a new array, did this little for loop to reverse it, it returned a reference to that got stored in this reversed array. So then when I print out int array, it prints the original array. And when I print out reversed array using the for each loop, it prints out the reversed array. So returning an array of integers after we passed in array of integers to a method.